Hi there, back in the house, continuing with stage one that I went through last week. So stage one, demolition, old kitchen, everything's out apart from the sink area, which I'll keep until to the last possible second. Fireplaces are all out, that was done when we videoed that last week, and the stair lift is out. It's been removed from the stairs, but it's still physically in the house. Next step of stage one is garden clearance. Now it just says in stage one for me just to create a staging area. Step three is brick up the toilet window. Now that's in the back bedroom upstairs, because in my mind I wanted to just get rid of the toilet upstairs. I haven't included the toilet in the bathroom renovation quote, because I've a mind just to open the room up and make it simple, but someone did say to me, well, it would be nice for one room to have a toilet upstairs. So I'm just going to have a think about whether I do want to brick that window up or not, or whether I want to just put a nice new toilet in there with a nice new sink. Doesn't have a sink at all at the moment. Stage four is water ingress testing. I need to bring a hose up, connect it up and somehow get it onto the top floor so that I can start spraying water all over the roof to see whether it's truly fixed or whether it's coming through. I'll put a camera inside and then stand outside and spray the roof with water. And then step five of stage one is wall stitching. Now that's what I'm going to start today, because I think that's what I've been looking forward to doing. It's quite interesting. So over here is an example of a wall crack. Goes all the way from the bottom to the top. Now this is this porch has been added to the house. This is right at the front of the house. The front door's just behind me. I'm thinking about putting a stud wall in here and boxing off the porch. So when you come in the house, spread the camera to come around. Can it come all the way? When you come in the house, here, there's your front door. There's the road there. There's a wall here, maybe some hooks up there to put your coats up, or some sort of nice porch area, and then I'll build a door here into the lounge. Now I decided to do this after I'd figured out where all the electrical points were. So I've just got to think about how I do this in a way. It kind of makes sense to build the wall right on the edge of this bit jutting out, but then we've got a socket there which may no longer be appropriately placed, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. And if I am building the wall, then I need to do that before stage two, which is finalising the first fix. As you can see, first fix for electrics was well underway anyway, but it wouldn't take me more than a day to get the wood in here. So learning from my experience in Radford, build a piece of wood along the floor, and then build up around the wall, and then create like a door frame. Now I wouldn't need to second fix it, but that would at least tell the electrician where the wall's going to be and where he needs to put a second light switch, because at the moment all the light switches are on the right hand to the left hand side of the front door there. So you come in and you put the porch light on, the outside light on, the lounge light on, but then there'd be a wall here in the future. You probably also need a light switch in the actual maybe even here. We got light switch placement wrong in Radford, didn't we? The door in the kitchen opens to where the light switch is, so you have to close the door in the dark and then go around and open it. So got to think these things through. Anyway, wall stitching. So this is a great big crack in the wall between the porch and the house. I suspect this wall here, or this face here, was the original front wall of the house, and then they built a porch onto it. And I understand the whole row has had a little bit of subsidence and settling, and what's affected this house is the porch has just tipped forward. I need to check the roof above it, but I think it's been re-roofed since this damage was done. I have noticed that next door there's the outer kind of bay window style thing they've got next to us has got a big crack in it as well. So I need to make sure that this doesn't go any further. I need to make this good, and I've got a similar crack, smaller in nature, in the attic as well. So what I'm going to start doing today is start working on this wall stitch stuff. This is a bar that you embed into the wall to bond either side of the crack. Now they're really long bars, and I think they would prefer I used the full length of the bar, so putting them in the wall in the middle over the crack so that you've got lots of adhesion both sides of the crack. But that's not practical here because we're right up against the final brick. The minimum is 10 centimetres, but they prefer, like, you know, 30 plus centimetres. Some online tutorials suggest going round the corner, but I've met someone who's done a course, a week's course of fitting this stuff, and they're not suggesting that that's a good idea. What they're saying is go as far to this edge as you can, and at least 10 centimetres that way, and if you want you can then strengthen this joint here separately, but do this one first and decide. So I'm going to take all the wallpaper off here. Now where you put these is in the mortar, it's not in the brick. So I'm looking for the mortar line, take all this wallpaper off and some of the plaster, and work out where the bricks are, and therefore where's the mortar between them. And I'm digging that out, and I want to put this bar in the wall as far back as I can to get to halfway through whatever that brick is. Now I suspect this will be standard brick, we'll find out in a minute, and this will be breeze block. So it might be quite complicated to adhere these two surfaces, but I'll get the paper off, get the plaster off, and we'll make a decision. I can cut this bar down to size to fit into each individual hole. I'll probably draw a 10 centimetre line up here once I've got the surface, so I know how far at least I've got to go in that direction. I've got a diamond rake blade for the grinder to go into the mortar and pull out the mortar easily. So I'll have the door open and I'll put the extractor in here to get rid of all of the dust and put a mask on and stuff. And then the idea is that you wet the surface in the brick, because the brick is going to want to absorb any moisture. So giving it some water to absorb means that it will let the mortar go in without being sucked up. Because we want the mortar to be a solid block of mortar that we put in there, and not be absorbed by the brick and not shrink in any way, leaving any holes. So we'll spray the cuts we've made with water. I've learned all this on the internet. I've never done this before, as you might expect. And I will, and then you put a bed of mortar. Now, I've bought a big bucket of mortar because this is quite a big job, but I've left it at home. It was really hot this weekend, and it said on the side, do not store above 25 degrees Celsius. So I put it in my cellar, which is much cooler than outside. But then I forgot to pick it up this morning. So I've picked up a couple of tubes just to get me started from the tool station. I inject this right into the back of the crack. I then embed this right up against that mortar, almost encapsulated, and then I follow that up with another whole bunch of mortar right to this surface here, then I trowel it off like a new mortar line here. So what you've got then is you've got a bar that's physically attached to this brick, and it's very strong, and it's like a helix shape, so it's designed to grip on, and this crack is therefore fixed. Now this is a full ceiling to floor crack, and I should be doing sort of every 3, every 4 mortar lines in a standard brick size, but when I get this off it might end up being every breeze block because they're much deeper. So I'm going to focus on that today. I'll get as far as I can with the adhesive as I've got. What I'm planning on doing is all the prep, so all the surface removal and all the digging out of all of the mortar, both here and upstairs, before I start fitting this. Right, so I've stripped back some of the surface wall. I've got to strip back some more to reveal what's behind the crack. And as you can see, we've got breeze blocks and standard bricks and a right hodgepodge of things just jammed in, some of it quite loose, some of it half brick cut on this side, and then the original solid brick wall on that side. So I'm not going to be able to stitch every single row between the mortars. I'm going to have to use the brick mortar on the right hand side, and I'm going to go through some breeze blocks. AI has estimated what it'll look like when it's finished. It's a bit of an overemphasis on the size of the stitches because they're not that big, but that should give you an idea of what I should be aiming for. Well, I've got all the channels done and I'm quite happy with how it works, and I've also been able to cut the bar using I don't have a metal cutter with me, but I've managed to do it with a diamond cutter. I don't think it's doing it any harm. It's a very tough, thick grinding disc. I did have a go at putting one in using the tube resin, but that tube resin I don't have the right gun to apply it. I thought my roughneck would work, but if that's what it can do, then I'm doing it wrong. So I'll pop upstairs now and do the attic, and then I'll bring the bucket of bond in that I forgot this morning and finish it off. And so now that the wall stitching is done and everything's curing, I'm going back to the stage 1 plan, and I'm feeling really good about how that stage plan organises me, because I'm the sort of person that needs to be busy, and in the last house there were moments where I made myself busy to the detriment of the overall efficiency of the project. So going back to the plan every time is really helping me. So stage 1, wall stitching is done, kitchen demolition is done. We still need to decide what we're going to do with that back window next to the toilet. Do we keep the toilet? Do we not keep the toilet? I'll figure that out this week and make a decision. But now I'm just going back through every room and just making sure all the wallpaper's off, so the room is ready for first fix plumbing, and first fix carpentry. Right, back in the house. So trying to get stage 1 done in every room before we start anything substantially stage 2. I mean, first fix electrics is in theory stage 2, but that's not quite finished yet. And it was a sensible overlap. So this is the master bedroom. This is all now stripped of wallpaper, stripped of skirting boards. We've got to take the radiator off yet and make sure there's no wallpaper behind there. And what we found is the walls are cracked, but they're quite good. This is horsehair plaster. It's very messy to take off. It does come off the wall when you want it to, or when there's a bit of damp behind it, because it's not an adhesive plaster, it's an old-fashioned plaster. It's very strong and it can make for a nice smooth surface, but and down here there's a little bit which is coming away, because this whole window is really very weird. It's like they bought the wrong size windows, or maybe they replaced traditional windows with these UPVC ones, and they've got this huge, what we call, I don't know what their real names are, but builders like me call them fuck up strips, because you just big bit of plastic to cover a big mistake. So Yeah, so this room is done. That plaster may have to come off. It's got a strange bend in it. It's like it's been plastered upwards. But this joint here is, I mean, it's quite a big elevation here to here, so it's no wonder it's starting to fail. I may have to knock that off, and from there repatch the wall with bonding. I've also got this fireplace here. This is really strange. This plaster that they've just plastered over the hole it's literally sand on the wall. I can't really leave that and just cover it up. So I'm just debating whether I knock a hole in the wall and put a bit of plasterboard in there to create a surface, or do I even open up the fireplace and put a bunch of flowers in a pot in there to make it a feature. But so this room is pretty much 90% stage 1 complete. The hallway, there's a little bit of carpet to take off here, and there's some little bits of wallpaper that will need to come off. Now the back bedroom, it doesn't look like it's close to stage 1, but it was during doing this room yesterday that I decided what I was going to do with these walls. So whilst I'm trying to stay in my head in stage 1 and not flitting to stage 2 and 3, because that's what makes me work inefficiently, it's good to make a decision on how you're going to treat the walls after stage 1 so that you can prepare them appropriately. And I've decided to use lining paper. I've never done it before, but I don't have to take off all the green. I just have to sort of sand it down and make sure that it's flat, and then a nice thick lining paper will cover that up and provide a nice new surface that I can then paint. Well, I've got cracks between the ceiling and the wall. I'm going to use coving. We've got coving downstairs. I was planning on pulling it off, taking it off. Put a sign here saying head because this ceiling is so low. I'm sure some people will misunderstand that. I mean, this is pretty much stage 1 complete. All of these wall bars have set firm. God, this mortar stuff is bloody strong. That is secure, that wall. That's not going to slip anymore. So the floorboards need to go back down. This is going to be overboarded right down to at least the knee wall level. And then potentially I can use lining paper on the other walls. A bit of bonding needed here, and then a little bit there where the walls have failed. I won't just put lining paper on bubbly walls. On stage 2, I'll go over with a fine surface filler, and I'll make all of the bumps and the divots and the holes nice and smooth, and then I'll put lining paper over that. So this room is pretty much good for stage 2. A little bit of skirting board to pull out there. And obviously stage 1 also includes checking that the roof is repaired. I'll have to take some of that down, but I'll take as little down as I can, and then I'll just find the rafters and build a new surface on top. The rafters seem quite well equally straightforwardly placed here, unlike Radford where they were all funny little angles and stuff, so it should be quite easy to screw a board into the into the rafters. But yeah, thinking in stages, we've definitely made progress on the upper floors. we're well into stage one, and just got a bit of wallpaper to take down to finish stage one. But one of the things on the list on stage one was to test that the roof is fixed. So I bought this great big plumbing hose which I've attached to the outside tap, and now Builder Will is replicating rain. So we'll go in the house now and we'll see whether the roof has been fixed. If it has, great. We can move on to stage 2 and 3 and start overboarding and plastering the attic. If it's not fixed, then we need to fix it before we do that. So all the stage 1 work has been done. In here, up the stairs. It's been really hard work because it's 7 million degrees. How are we getting on? We got a leak?
Yep. I've got it oozing into it. I haven't got it right behind the flashing now. So I'm trying to make it leak.
Look, I could almost see daylight through the wall there.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you'll be seeing into the eaves. Look,
Yeah.
you know, like at Radford.
Yeah.
He did it. So there's more storage behind that one.
I'm not taking these walls down.
Oh, he's done nice looking. He's gone all negative now. Ooh, upsetting the wasps. I mean, I'm deliberately spraying it underneath the tile, which natural rainfall wouldn't do that. Because it falls down. I think this was a very old leak, and they just never repaired the damage before.
Well, it's easy to understand why, because it looks so nice. It's a feature, isn't it?
Depends what effect you're looking for. If you're trying to make yourself look poor, then
I think the apocalyptic look is all the rain. Right, well then we'll keep doing this for a bit, and we've got a bit more wallpaper to take off. But I'm about to announce stage 1 as pretty much complete.
We'll have to have a drum roll.
I mean, that's so the damp is right against the pillar that's below the chimney, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right above where that.
And I am absolutely soaking that. The only thing is though, Dan, have you seen the old bitchy on the wall?
Now here we go. We've got some.
Oh God.
Right, so I'm officially calling stage 1 done. There is an hour's more wallpaper removal, but I'll pick that up next week. So stage 1 was demolition. We've taken the cupboard out of the bathroom. It was very complicated design. There was lots of, it filled up a whole ton bag, even though it's only a small cupboard. We leave ourselves with a great big hole in the floor there. So we're going to have to fill that with something and not just self-leveling floor, because that's too expensive. And we're also going to have to continue the stud wall around here and make this wall good. And that's officially stage 3 work, but we will do that soon so that Max can continue the work with the pipe work and the bases, the foundations of the bathroom. I'm not bothered about Max jumping ahead of me, or any contractors jumping ahead of me in the stage plan, because they won't come back at a time that suits me, and this bathroom is completely out the way, and so it's not causing me any issues. Another part of demolition is the kitchen. The sink unit persists just because it's convenient, and that's fine. All the electrics are accessible, all the pipe work is being brought to the new very, very cute boiler that's been positioned on the wall, and all of the pipe work has been so the kitchen's been demolished to the extent that is necessary. Still got a fridge and an oven to get rid of. The fridge is quite cool. Oh, and a washing machine down there. The fridge is quite cool. It's not a joke. It's actually not bad condition. The cooker is probably scrap, made worse by the fact that I hit it with the strimmer and destroyed it a bit. And the washing machine's a bit rusty, but I'm sure I'll find good homes for those. Either a bit of money or to a good cause. What else was stage one? Garden clearance. Now that's not changed from the last few videos. Still got a staging area out here, which is fine. Haven't done any more work in the garden, and those bags that we filled up before are still there. Let's turn that fan off so I can hear what I'm saying. Also in stage one was window alteration upstairs, and as you will have heard me say if you've been listening carefully, I've decided not to get rid of the bathroom on the first floor. It's not really a bathroom, it's more of a toilet. And it's been really badly made. Look, I mean, this wall isn't even remotely straight. So I may have to improve the construction of the bathroom, but we've already got cold water up here for the toilet, and Max is going to get me a hot water and a cold water supply for a small sink that I will fit in that corner. So I won't brick up that window, but I will tidy it up, make it look nice. At the moment you can't actually open the window because somebody put a soil trap right outside it. But in terms of stage one, all the bedrooms are on. Skirting's out, wall surfaces are ready to be sanded down and lining paper applied. And it's much the same everywhere else, the lounge, etc. Also stage one was wall stitching, that's done. Now stage two, we're already a long way down the road. Electrical stage one was main first fix wiring, socket switch boxes, that's done. Plumbing is what Max is doing now. He's getting the pipework ready and positioning the radiators in all rooms, but they're only loosely attached and we'll be able to take them off to decorate. What hasn't been done is any first fix carpentry. So that is repairing floorboards and repairing, doing a false ceiling in a little space downstairs where we have a really weird space between the lounge and the dining room. And also we need to overboard this room down to at least the top of the knee wall. There's the plaster from the wall stitching in here. The last aspect of stage one was water ingress testing, which we did yesterday. So this interior that suffered from a big leak has not been repaired, but the cause of the leak has been repaired. So I'm not going to say stage one isn't complete just because there's an hour's worth of wallpaper still on the wall. Stage one is done, and I would say we are 50-60% of the way through stage two. Plumbing, electrical and carpentry. So next week we'll crack on with the rest of stage two. Stage three includes plasterboard applying to walls and ceiling. So that's going to be in here and in one or two other places, and then skim this and seal it. And stage three is called making good. So you know, that's where the repairs in the bathroom should really fit, but so it's not too far down the plan to do that soon. And then also in the lounge we've got a stud wall that we're putting in to separate the entrance porch to the lounge itself. So stage one pretty much done, stage two 50% there, and then stage three is going to be basically getting the place ready to decorate. Because stage four is finishing touches from a carpentry point of view, like coving and skirting getting the kitchen installed, and finalising the bathroom. So we're all over stage 1, we're all over stage 2, and we're planning stage 3. And we've done a little bit of stage 3 in terms of the bonding. So I guess you could say, you know, making walls good, ready for decoration, and all the bonding we've done to cover up the channeling that I did right at the beginning. So we're not doing anything out of sequence. We're making really fast progress, and we're starting to think about stage 4 and how we'll do it. And then it's just a road to finishing the house at that point. So much quicker project than Radford. So this video is largely about stage 1. There'll be a little bit of 2 in the next video, but it'll be largely stage 3 in the next video. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying watching me lose weight in this weather. Please subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos. Please ask questions in the commenty bit if you've got any questions about the business or the process or the stages, and also please tell me what I'm doing wrong. That's what you're all very good at, and I do learn from it. So anyway, peace out, see you next time.